Okay, we've talked a lot about safety in this hot weather, and Seth, it's because we know it's hot this week.
Yeah, it is hot, and it's easy to forget things or even people in the car. Not great, and it gets hot very fast. I want to show you guys this graph as to just how hot it gets in the car in just a little bit of time. We're at 85 degrees right now, so follow that yellow line, and in just 20 minutes, 85 can become 114 degrees. 95 degrees can become 124 degrees, and it just gets warmer. We're looking at 130 degrees in just an hour, even when it's fairly pleasant like it is now, so keep that in mind. Now, as we take a live look or a time lapse from our Black Desert Resort, you're going to see it's very dry. We don't have a whole lot of moisture to work with and not a single cloud in sight. Our satellite radar tells a similar story. We have this pressure system that's coming in from the north. It's going to stay to the north of us. However, it is dropping temperatures just a little bit, which is why it's cooler today than it was yesterday. Punch this in, you're going to see it's very quiet, not only in Utah, but across the entire West. We have a high pressure system that's building that's going to keep us dry and warm. Right now, temperatures are in the 80s and 90s across the state, more 90s in the eastern portion of this state. We have 70s in southwest Wyoming and 102 degrees in St. George. That's toasty. Milford just hit 90 degrees, and here in Salt Lake City, we're sitting at 87 degrees. Over the next 6 hours, we're going to see those temperatures drop, 80s, eventually turning to 70s after the sun goes down. The sun goes down tonight at 9:02, which is the latest sunset, and it's going to go down at 9:02 for the next few days. And then we hit the summer solstice on Friday, and then we start to have less daylight hours, 75 degrees by ABC4 News at 10. Our futurecast shows we stay really quiet, and that's thanks to this high pressure system that acts as a storm block, bringing that sinking air, which means we have very stable conditions. We barely even get any cloud coverage until about Thursday, and even then it's not a whole lot, not enough to provide you with much shade. And it's going to be warm and dry and windy. That is a bad combination for the fire. This is Thursday afternoon. We're going to start to see those winds really revving up on the West Desert, and then it dies down overnight, but then picks right back up on Friday afternoon, and that'll impact the entire state. And then as we get into Saturday, the winds are going to shift a little further east and south. So up here in the north, we'll start to die down as far as the winds go on Saturday. But southern Utah stays windy. And we see that on our red flag warning. Most of what you're seeing here, this expires at 10 p.m. on Saturday. It goes into effect on noon at Thursday. However, the northern portion of the state, the Great Salt Lake Desert, that expires at 10 p.m. on Friday thanks to the winds dying down. Humidity as low as 5% and wind gusts up to 35 miles an hour, maybe even a little bit more at times. So it's going to make for critical fire conditions. We have high pressure that's going to start to build, bringing even hotter weather. That'll be challenging records. We have that southerly flow as that high pressure moves to the east, that clockwise rotation dragging all that super warm desert southwest air across the state. And we could see it hold into Friday. It's definitely going to be warm, but we look like we're going to be just shy of the records. And then we have an air mass that's going to be swooping in from the north, bringing that cooler Canadian air to the region. That'll drop temperatures by about 20 to 25 degrees in just a couple of days. So Friday will be warm, but by Sunday, we're going to be below average. And then it starts to warm back up again as this system goes to the south. We have another round of southerly winds that's going to be dragging that warm air across the state for this time next week. Let's talk about those records real quick, because Thursday we're forecasted to hit 103 degrees. That's what you see here in the orange, and the red is the record high. The record was set in 1940 of 101 degrees. So we are looking to break that record, and then on Friday we're going to get pretty close to it with a high of 99 degrees. As for tomorrow, temperatures are going to warm by about 5 to 10 degrees, especially in the northern portion of the state. We're looking at 90s for the most part, upper 90s in our warm spots in St. George at 106 degrees. And it gets warmer, 108 degrees for your Thursday. You do have a wind that'll keep you a little bit cool, but that does mean that the fire risk is going to be elevated. Cools down a little bit Friday, and then eventually triple digits turn to the 90s for your weekend, and the 90s are going to hold on into next week. The Wasatch Front hits the 90s for your Wednesday, 103 degrees on your Thursday, 99 for Friday. And that's the first day of summer. We're starting summer off strong. And then we drop to the 80s to kick off the weekend, and we drop all the way to the 70s to close it out. And then we start to warm back up to more seasonal norms next week.